welcome back to Diablo's Workshop. How's everybody doing? So this video here, Diablo has been tagged. Not one, not two, but 3 times. So first gentleman that tagged me is Brian, the Scale Model Freak at Atomic Dog. Second gentleman that tagged me was Rattlecan Shenanigans. And the third gentleman that tagged me just yesterday was Chuck at Military Planes and Ships. Guys, thank you very much for tagging me. Much appreciated. If you guys haven't checked out their channels, they are all very, very good builders and have really cool channels. So my 3 hobbies. I don't even know if I can keep it to 3, but we'll try. So prior to getting back into model car building, I was doing mountain biking, both trail and downhill. Doing that, I pretty much decided to, instead of buying a bike off the shelf and not having exactly what I wanted on it, and or buying a bike off the shelf and then spending a ton more money getting it the way I wanted, I decided to build my own bikes from frame up. First bike I built was my trail bike. That was an old school downhill bike, Cannondale, Gemini. And what I ended up just buying the frame and the swing arm. It came in a ghastly powder coated orange, and it was beat to hell. So I actually stripped it, looked at a few YouTube videos on how to polish aluminum, and I pretty much polished that up and added some graphics of my own and painted the swing arm a satin black. And from there I ended up buying a new fork, which is about 7 inches of suspension travel. The bike itself has like 6.5, almost 7. And the setting I have it pretty close to 7 in the back. Added a new Marzocchi shock for the back. The only thing I did not do myself on that bike were the wheels. I had somebody build them for me. I just didn't have, the tools, the time, or the know-how to build my own wheels, make sure they were true and everything. So that's the only thing I didn't build on that bike, and it's probably one of the sturdiest trail bikes that you'll see. 26-inch wheels. I didn't go with the 29er. That'll probably be my next thing once I get back to riding again. And then I built my downhill bike, which is a Specialized Demo 8. Again, bought it frame only. My wife, for birthday presents, pretty much bought me all the components that I needed to build it. It's got the biggest brake package on it. Again, I didn't build the wheels. I had a professional build the wheels. A triple tree fork on the front, Marzocchi Bomber. I'm trying to think, yeah, and that's pretty much it. That frame actually was purchased with a shock. I did bump up the spring on the shock just to bring it up a little, give it a little more backbone, I guess you could say, because I'm not a small guy, and I tend to ride hard on top of it, so I wanted pretty much bulletproof. So that's one hobby. So it kind of ended up being actually riding both downhill and on trails, and then because of the love of riding, I got pretty much into doing all the bike maintenance and building both bikes. And I pretty much built the bike for Mrs. Diablo. she doesn't ride near as hard as I do, so I didn't have to go as beefy. And she, believe it or not, did not like the way a full suspension bike felt. So it's a hardtail with just suspension in the front. So yeah, that's one of my hobbies. I also play golf, and because of that, I also got into building my own golf clubs and repairing my own golf clubs, regripping my own golf clubs, and that's kind of taken on a life of its own. I do a lot of favors and stuff for my dad's golf buddies, a few of my friends that play golf. Seems I'm always working on a golf club here or there, which I enjoy, so it's kind of cool. And then third hobby, I guess, would be, I was pretty avid into working out with kettlebells until I pretty much had a pretty severe case of tendonitis in my elbow, which kind of ended up happening from the combination of the kettlebell training, the golf, practice, range, doing drills, and then the biking. At one point I was riding 3 times a week, twice on the weekends, once during the week. If I could find somebody to go trail riding with, so I wasn't by myself, which is, I guess a little on the dangerous side. But yeah, so there was a lot of grip work involved, and I put a lot of stress on my elbow. And there was a point where you could actually feel the tendon sticking out of the groove in the elbow. And that pretty much took 2 years to go away, with a few rounds of cortisone in between. So that's kind of what started me back into the hobby, the injury. And I'm not looking back, and I'm still building. Prior to that, I was also an avid competitive archer. Pretty much me and Mrs. Diablo traveled all over the country for archery tournaments. I also participated in 3D archery, which is unmarked 3D animal targets at unmarked distances, as I said, in kind of hunting settings. So that's another hobby that I had prior. I kind of burnt myself out on the archery between practicing 4 nights a week and going to all the tournaments, and I kind of tend to put a lot of pressure on myself, so that I kind of just pushed that aside. I still have all my stuff, and I'm still pretty friendly with all the guys from my archery club that I belong to, so at some point I'll go back, but I definitely don't want to go back to the competitive side of it. And my another hobby that started everything when I was big into RC, 12 scale on-road racing, 10 scale oval racing, and toward the end I got into off-road dirt, electric and gas. And I just kind of got tired of it, got tired of the personalities involved, and I kind of outgrew it, I guess. I mean, I still would probably get back into it at some extent, but definitely not competition, not racing other people. I can't do that anymore. So we'll see what happens with that. And I've dabbled in RC airplanes with my dad. And as some of you guys know, and I've mentioned a few times, my dad's an avid RC boat enthusiast. He's built quite a few. He's got the boat from Jaws. He's got a pretty big tugboat that's like 3 feet long. And the newest one he's working on, the USS Crockett. So I tend to help him with some of that stuff because I have the RC background and setting up the radios and making sure all the radio gear's right and helping him set up, getting the linkages all square. So I have quite a few hobbies, and it keeps me busy for sure, and kind of keeps my pockets empty. So yeah, that's about all the hobbies that I have. So it was kind of cool one, getting tagged, and two, watching all the videos. You know, see what everybody else is into and stuff like that. So yeah, so now I guess I have to nominate 3 people, huh? Alright, so let's see. Let's start with the recent birthday boy. Yeah, if you guys know him, definitely reach out to him, because Thursday was his birthday. Thursday the 29th. Matt over at Model Car Art. You've been tagged, sir. Happy birthday. And then the other gentleman I'm tagging is Tom Scale Garage. And the third gentleman, last but definitely not least, is T4Z's Altered Rods. You have been tagged also, sir. Looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with, and I guess that's it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try to get an update video, a shop update video up tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I got some work done on the Cayman today, so tomorrow I should have more done, and I think I could probably, I'll have something to show. Won't be much, but it'll definitely be some improvement on what I had. Alright guys, thank you, and remember, the devil is in the details.